This past week, Jim, we kind of talked about it before we got results. Smackdown was head-to-head with Collision and Rampage. Well, Collision followed by Rampage. On TNT, we now have the ratings.
Well, now, wait a minute. Actually, you misspoke again. I'll clarify you there. Smackdown was from 8 to 10. That was against Collision. And then Rampage was 10 to 11, and it was unobstructed by anything other than quality television programming on many of the other networks. But
and then another show, actually. Then a 30-minute AEW countdown was on following
Good
Rampage.
Lord. My God, they're determined to kill the television industry. And my prediction was, because it's an off night for Collision, SmackDown is the industry leader in terms of numbers of viewers. I said, this is going to be a fucking rout. And I predicted that SmackDown would do approximately 8 times the number of viewers that Collision did. And I speculated to you, has there ever been a time in the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era, even TNA versus WWE for that brief period of time, that the Outlaw group got kicked by 8 times their audience? And so now I do not know the answer to these questions because you haven't told me the numbers yet and I haven't looked. So we're going to find out what, if anything, that I predicted about this.
Well, we're going to Friday night, November 17th. WWE Smackdown on Fox from 8 to 10 p.m. was watched by 2,206,000 viewers.
Okie dokie.
On average.
Yes. Upon the average.
I'll give you the 3 AEW shows. AEW Collision on TNT was watched by 270,000 viewers on average.
Oh!
Which I believe is the new record low rating.
Oh!
Following Collision.
Hold on one second. Or perhaps
following Collision, AEW Rampage 10 p.m. was watched by 280,000 viewers.
Oh my God. So Rampage actually beat Collision. 10,000 of the people that had been watching SmackDown said, okay, we still want to see some more wrestling. What about that third bastard child?
The 30-minute AEW Countdown special was watched by 139,000 viewers. And this is from WrestleNomics here, Collision's lowest total viewership ever. It was down 32% compared to last week's total viewership, which was 396,000 viewers. SmackDown was up 1% compared to last week.
So we're basically, they took absolutely no viewers away from SmackDown whatsoever, and SmackDown apparently clobbered them to the, well, no, SmackDown was only up 1%. Maybe people just said, fuck AEW. I'll just sit home in the dark rather than participate in this goddamn one-sided war. So what were do you have the quarters there? Where did Collision start and where did it end?
Well, we have the numbers here, Jim. AEW Collision on TNT, November 17th, 2023. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. Quarter 1, 8 to 8:15 p.m. Christian Cage live promo, followed by Ricky Starks and Bill, and Big Bill.
Bill.
And Bill. Backstage promo. Followed by Miro versus Daniel Garcia. 386,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ. So they actually started with some kind of number for them, and they apparently have run these people off over the course of the night. Okay, keep going now.
Quarter 2, 8:15 to 8:30 p.m. The continuation of Miro versus Daniel Garcia with picture-in-picture. Andrade El Idolo and CJ Perry backstage promo. And an ad break. 279,000 viewers.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so obviously, I wish we had right in front of us what program was on first before what their lead-in was. So, because apparently many of those people were watching that program and just not quick enough on the draw. Go ahead.
Quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. The Boys versus the Kings of the Black Throne. Sky Blue video.
Wait a minute. Is that the House of Blech?
Yes, but when they are on their own as a tag team, they are not the House of Black. They are the Kings of the Black Throne. There are multiple kings, you see, of this throne.
Oh, good. Well,
it's a multi-seat throne.
I think somebody came up with this idea while they were sitting on the throne.
The throne is more like a bench, now that we think about it.
It's at least a love seat, if not a couch type of situation.
Also, well, a couple big matches here. Also, Trent Beretta versus Brian Cage.
God damn it.
Versus Penta El Zero Miedo.
Oh, good God.
Oh, it's one match with multiple people. Versus Commander.
Oh, boy. Well, right there, they're up over 400,000 because old Commando, was he going Commando that night?
Well, that had picture-in-picture and also a full-screen ad break where they give up on the match. 273,000 viewers.
Oh, well, they're holding steady right in the top of that septic tank.
Quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m. The continuation of the septic tank match, Don Callis and Powerhouse Hobbs backstage promo, an ad break, Wardlow versus Evan Daniels, and Evan
Wait
Daniels.
A minute, he makes whiskey here in Kentucky. Oh, that's Evan Williams. I'm sorry.
And the beginning of Roosh versus Dax Harwood.
Oh no, poor Dax. He was just tweeting out pictures of himself with his face beat up from the pay-per-view, and Jesus Christ, he had floosh the night before. All right, go ahead.
266,000 viewers.
All righty. Well, how about that big 9 o'clock hour to come in and save us all?
The big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m., quarter 5. Roosh versus Dax Harwood continued with picture-in-picture, and the big post-match with Ricky Starks, Bill, Cash Wheeler, LFI, and Kings of the Black Bench. 258,000 viewers.
And they lost 8,000 at the top of the hour. And by the way, do you think Dax's record is still intact? That the only person he's ever defeated in AEW in a singles match is his partner Cash?
There's no way he beat Roosh. Well, let's go to the next one. Quarter 6 here, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. An ad break. Action Andretti and Roderick Strong and the Kingdom backstage angle.
Oh, wait a minute. I got an update on that. We haven't heard about this and talked about it, and it's the goddamnest thing I ever saw. Roderick Strong had a match with Action Andretti that you just mentioned there on that Collision program. And Roderick Strong had a collision as a result with the fucking mat. They've been doing the deal where Roddy's neck is hurt, and Roddy's wearing a neck brace, and he's got the Stooges, Taven and Bennett, wheeling him around in a wheelchair, right? But when he has a match, he hulks up and he ignores the bad neck, and he takes the neck brace off, and then he wrestles the match and then puts it back on in front of everybody. So it's not even like the reveal the guy in the wheelchair can walk or whatever. And this fucking idiot Action Andretti almost broke Roderick Strong's neck to the point. Hotchkiss Featherbottom showed me this clip because he came over the day after. Well, not the day after it happened, several days after it happened. He said, "What the fuck was this about?" And he had it on his phone. Somebody had tweeted it. He tried to do, Roddy's running at him, and his fucking little monkey moron with his gymnastics off the playground fucking play bars tries to grab Roddy and backflip with him over, so they both backflip and land, and he spiked him right on his fucking head. And the referee's mouth threatened the people. Oh, and apparently by sheer luck, he was not paralyzed, but yeah, that was worse than anything you saw on the pay-per-view. And we saw a lot of shit on the pay-per-view.
Did the referee do a better job than Rick Knox did when Moxley got knocked out?
Well, no, because the clip ended like 3 or 4 seconds after that. It was just a tweeted clip of this bump. So I don't know what. I assume because we have not heard that services are scheduled for Roddy, that's how I know he's okay. Because I would have bought anything. You know, after if you heard, yeah, Roddy will never walk again, I can see why.
Well, those two had their big confrontation here in quarter 6, followed by Buddy Matthews versus Wheeler Yuta
Oh boy.
with picture-in-picture and a full-screen ad break.
Are they going to drop below 200 grand for this?
226,000 viewers.
They're certainly on the way.
All right, well, quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. The continuation of Buddy versus Wheeler. And the post-match with Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, and that's it. That's all it says there. Oh, no, just Claudio.
Okay.
And then there's a separate Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy video.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
241,000 viewers.
Oh, they've reversed the downward trend.
And then we have finally quarter 8. And remember, there's another 90 minutes of wrestling after the show ends. Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho and Saraya with picture-in-picture ads and an MJF backstage interview. 239,000 viewers.
Ouch. They lost people for the MJF card. Well, they probably didn't know it was coming.
Well, this is interesting, though. AEW Rampage, real quick. Quarter 1, 10 to 10:15 p.m. Christian Cage versus Trent Beretta with picture-in-picture. 290,000 viewers.
Jesus. Well, it's a regular time slot, though.
I guess so.
It's the regular time slot, so that's about what they usually do for Rampage these days,
Are
right?
they doing this low for Rampage? Actually, I don't know that.
I think they are.
Quarter 2, the continuation of that match, an ad break, a Jericho promo, and then Emi Sakura versus Tony Storm with picture-in-picture and full-screen ad break. 267,000 viewers. Quarter 3, 10:30 to 10:45. Continuation of that match, the post-match, and then Eddie Kingston, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett backstage angle, an ad break, and the beginning of Roderick Strong versus Action Andretti with picture-in-picture, 277,000 viewers. And finally, quarter 4, 10:45 to 11 p.m. The continuation of Action Andretti versus Roderick Strong.
And the near elimination of Roderick Strong. Apparently, so they did a confrontation of some description on Collision, and this is the match where he almost killed him.
The post-match with the Kingdom, a Jay White backstage interview, MJF Juice Robinson backstage angle, and then MJF Jay White, the Guns, and Samoa Joe live angle to close out the show. 287,000 viewers.
So they were between 267 and 290 for the whole show, but that still was enough to beat the average of Collision over 2 hours by 10,000 people. And it would have been, Rampage would have kicked the shit out of Collision if it hadn't been for the 386,000 people in the quarter 1 that they were fed by whatever, and they lost then 107,000 in the first 15 minutes. Okay, for comparison's sake, in terms of audience retention, audience level, whatever, what was Smackdown quarter by quarter? Because we still got to do this math here, and I don't have my calculator in front of me, so you may be doing it.
Well, Jim, WWE Smackdown on November 17th, quarter 1, 8 to 8:15 p.m., the recap of the Damage Control live promo and angle with Shotzi, Bianca, Charlotte, and then an ad break. 2,334,000 viewers.
Okay, and so let's do some math right here. Where they started, because this is AEW's biggest number by over 100,000 people. What percentage of 2,334,000 is 386,000?
I don't know.
Well, you've got a computer in front of you. You know how to use
You
it.
didn't tell me to pull up that screen. Hold on one second.
Oh, I didn't know you had to pull up screens. I thought you just typed this shit in. I used my goddamn Texas Instruments pocket calculator, but it's across the room. You know, I've had the same Texas Instruments pocket calculator for the past 40 years. Look here, never mind. While you were fiddle fucking around over there, I reached my calculator. I've got it. Now, how do you figure that out on a calculator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me, and I'll do it right here. 2,334,000. What percentage of 386,000 is that of that? How do we do that?
On a calculator?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, God damn it, you went to college and shit.
I didn't go. I went to community college for 2 years.
Well, God damn, 2 years they didn't teach you this. All right, wait a minute. How can we do this? What if we 2, 3, 3, 4? Oh, God damn it! Hold on a second. I said it'd be 8 times, right? 386,000 times 2, 3. No, that wouldn't be it. It'd be times 8. Hold on a goddamn second. 386. I put too many aughts in it. 386 aught times 8.
Hold on, I got something. Give me the two numbers.
That'd be 3 million people. What now? The
what
two
would
numbers.
be 3 million people?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
What? You just came up with a number out of nowhere.
No.
Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers.
The number is 2,334,000 for Smackdown.
Okay.
And 386,000 for AEW. That was both their quarter ones. So what percentage of SmackDown's audience was AEW's audience? Or how many times, I guess, was SmackDown's audience than AEW's audience?
Well, that's a different question. It is 16.5% of the audience.
So then it would be somewhere around 6 times but that's their biggest number. So let's see, times 6.
Yeah, I don't know if quarter one is really reflective of anything else.
Well, no, but I'm saying, okay, at their best, at AEW's best, I want you at your best. I want you ready to kill me and pull my eyeballs out. That's the way I'll always like to fight my opponents.
I'm gonna give you time to train. Work with your favorite coach. Be ready.
I'm gonna teach you how to beat me. I'm gonna tell you how to get out of all my best holes. But anyway. At AEW's best, it's the holidays, folks. They were, goddamn it, now I don't even want to say it. SmackDown's audience in the opening quarter was 6 times what their audience was, is what I'm trying to say. What is the quarter 2 for SmackDown number?
You have it in front of you, don't you? Or do I?
No,
I didn't give it to you yet. Quarter 2, I don't remember where we are. 8:15, 8:30 p.m., the big 8:15 quarter hour. Continuation of Belair, Shotzi, Charlotte, Nick Aldis. Oh, Nick Aldis, I guess, got involved. Backstage angle.
And also, by the way, AEW is getting beat up by a bunch of girls here.
And then Pretty Deadly versus the Street Profits.
Same thing.
With an ad break. 2,217,000 viewers.
Okay, now do the same thing. What percentage of 200 of 2 oh goddamn, never mind. Hold on, I'm just gonna
give me quarter 2. Give me the quarter 2 for AEW number.
279,000. And
that is 12% of the audience.
I was about to say, if you times that times 8, which is what I was predictifying, you get 2.232 million, and their SmackDown's at 2.217. So it's pretty goddamn close. They're already kicking their ass by 8 times. My prediction comes true. What's quarter 3?
Quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. The continuation of Pretty Deadly versus the Street Profits. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this show was up 1% this week. The Bianca Belair Michin, I think that's
Mia Yim
backstage angle, an ad break, the damage control Mishin backstage angle.
Is this an all-women show?
And then a recap of what I don't know, followed by Dragon Lee and Nick Aldis' backstage angle, followed by Dragon Lee versus Axiom through ad break, not picture picture, just ad break. 2,243,000 viewers.
Good God. Apparently, we are now proving that WWE could show Mighty Mouse reruns and get 2 million fucking people with this show, and they are blistering poor old Tony's Band of Merry Misfits, quarter 4.
Quarter 4 was a continuation, 8:45 to 9 p.m., of Dragon Lee versus Axiom, an ad break, and the beginning of the Santos Escobar live promo. 2,165,000 viewers.
Golly, I'm afraid that they're losing some steam here. They're only down to 2.1 million.
Well, the big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m., quarter 5, the Santos Escobar LWO live angle, an ad break, and the start of Grayson Waller versus Cameron Grimes.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph on a camel.
2,244,000 viewers.
Wow, that gained 80,000 people. Tony, how does it feel to know that they're wiping their ass with your television program with shit that would have bored the people to tears in a previous generation?
Yeah, some of you guys are hot with your audience, but no one's as hot as Grayson Waller. Let's continue. Quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m., the continuation of Grayson Waller versus Cameron Grimes. Belair, Zelina Vega continue. I don't know what.
Continue.
It's continuing into the ad break. Following Damage Control, Vega backstage angle, and the start of Paul Heyman LA Knight Live promo, which eventually leads into a match. 2,277,000 viewers.
Okay, wait a minute. What is the percentage, Brian, of 2,277,000 versus 226,000?
That's 10.14%.
10 times the audience. 10 times. You could take the number of viewers that is watching AEW Collision at that point off of the rating of Smackdown, they'd still be over 2 million.
Well, Jim, quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m., an ad break, followed by LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso, which goes through an ad break. 2,082,000 viewers.
Ouch, they lost some there. And one would think not for the hottest guy in the company, or one of the hottest guys in the company, but still that's 150,000-ish. That's like 6%, 7% of this audience. So go ahead.
And finally, quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m., the post-match with Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes, followed by an ad break, and Damage Control, Bianca Belair, Shotzi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky's live angle. 2,086,000 viewers.
I wonder if something came on at 9:30 because the same amount of people were gone the last 30 minutes of the program.
And that's against the usual trend. WrestleNomics has a trend line here. That goes those last 2 quarters against the usual trend, and we know they didn't go to AEW.
Well, that's the thing I'm looking at. If it used to be in the Attitude Era days, they would pay attention to if one fell, did the other rise, and was it commensurate accordingly, whatever. And when AEW drops here, SmackDown doesn't pick up anything. And because AEW keeps dropping and SmackDown fluctuates back and forth, and everything's up until the last 2 quarters, everything is up over 2.1 million. But so I don't see any correlation between anybody leaving AEW or SmackDown necessarily and going to AEW, except the last two quarters of AEW was up 15,000 and then down 2,000. And that's the only time that SmackDown lost any appreciable people. So it's negligible. But now okay, tell me what this is. These percentages you're doing. What percentage of 386,000 is 239,000?
Hold on one second. I wasn't ready for that. What percentage of, you said 386?
386,000 is 239,000.
61.9%.
So that means they lost 38% of their audience from where they started to where they finished. Correct?
Approximately, yeah.
Okay, so now what percentage of 2,334,000 is 2,086,000?
89.37%.
They lost a little over 10% of their audience, and that is uncharacteristically large for SmackDown. I rest my case. Every Wednesday, they lose 20 or 25%, every once in a while 30%. On these Saturday shows, a lot of times, it hasn't been that bad because it's so low to start out with. But in this case, they popped a number at the start, and they couldn't keep 30-something% of them. So there you go. And one more observation. Do you think that the people at WBD, old Zaslav or Saul Zantz or whatever his name is, do you think they like having 14 quarter hours of their prime time schedule doing less than 300,000 viewers, except for one?
Well,
how can that be acceptable even today?
It could be acceptable in one way. If the movie that they're going to have in place of AEW Collision, let's say on Saturday night, is going to do a better number, how much is it going to cost? Will the cost be the same to TNT or Warner Brothers Discovery as another hour or 2 hours of AEW programming, which they get pretty cheap? They don't pay that much for AEW programming.
But goddamn, how much are you paying to air Terminator fucking 17 these days on cable?
I couldn't tell you.
Because that's one of the issues that you found in when Vince first started convincing the TV stations that they should be paid to air the wrestling, right? Instead of just airing it because it did huge ratings and they could sell all the commercial time. Part of that was, if you're making a deal where you're paying for the programming and you're not getting any viewers, you're not going to want to keep that up. It's only when the TV station or whatever, or broadcast network entity is getting paid like an infomercial that they don't care when or if people watch it, right? We've gone through that with the syndicated wrestling shows. They would rather have a program that nobody watched, that they were getting paid to run, versus a fucking show that people watched that they had to put work in, except for prime time, except for the network stuff. And there's no way you can tell me that they want to keep tying up, what is it, 14 quarter hours is 3.5 hours of any of their primetime schedule for programs that have under 300,000 viewers consistently through the whole fucking night. That cannot be good. Especially, I would think you could air a rerun, or you could air a movie, or you could air a goddamn block of the Big Bang fucking Theory and do numbers better than that and not be paying whatever they're paying Tony and whatever he wants them to give him a raise to for the fucking original programming that's not doing the same numbers as the reruns.
Yeah, that was the one thing wrestling could always say. No matter what advertisers they got the viewers. You knew if you put wrestling on your channel, it would have the most viewers of any other show on your channel, more than likely.
Yeah.
That may not be the case anymore on certain channels.
It depends on the wrestling. Rather than you can't, it's like people won't go to just see Did you go to movie last night? They want to know what it is. And these days, apparently, they don't want to know what AEW is. He's brought it on himself. All right.